I'm Rebecca Rowe, and today I'm really excited to be speaking with the lovely Joel Grace from Sunshine Colonics Health and Wellness Centre in Maroochydore. And yeah, we're going to be chatting to Joel about colonic hydrotherapy, or colonics as it's more commonly termed these days. And yeah, just get some insight from Joel about what colonics is all about and how it can help a person's health journey. So, hey Joel, how's it going?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah,
Hello, everyone.
Yep, excellent. Good, thanks, Joel. So yeah, firstly, I just want to ask you if you could just explain what colonics is, and just step us through that process of what's involved when you have a colonic session.
Of course. Hopefully I can help break down some of the taboo around it.
Yeah.
Because without word of a lie, I'd say 95% of people walk in my doors either nervous or petrified or some combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And within a couple of minutes, they always wonder what they were ever worried about, what they were ever nervous about, and what took them so long to have a colonic. Because it really is a pretty chilled session. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I can definitely relate to what you just explained then when I went and had my first session. So yeah, it's good.
For sure. But I understand it is a daunting thing, and there is still such a taboo around our bowel movements, but it isn't necessary and it's doing us harm. So to break it down, colon hydrotherapy basically involves a clean out of your insides. That's the most simplest way that you can put it. How we do that is through instilling some warm, gentle, filtered water into the colon. And that's going to soak and soften up all your accumulated waste, toxins, any junk that you've got inside your colon that should be out of your body. And once that's softened and hydrated, it allows you to easily pass it out. Now, the water's instilled via a very small tube. It's pencil thin. Actually, I've got one here I can show you.
Yep.
So you can see the tube's pencil thin, and it only goes in around about an inch. So it sits just inside your bottom like that. Now, most people say they don't think the tube's in far enough, or it feels like it might fall out. And all the tube does is delivers water into your colon, soaks it all up, and then you can empty out and leave feeling a lot cleaner and lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the gist of it is just trying to really get as clean as possible. We brush our teeth twice a day, but the way that our colon is designed is in conflict to the way that we live our lives. So through modern diet, stress levels, medication, alcohol, a whole raft of issues like lack of exercise as well, all contribute to build up in our colon. Mm-hmm. That builds up in layers, like layers of an onion that are stuck on the inside of the colon, which is why it's a great idea to clean it out so that your colon can work in peak function and also you can be as healthy as possible.
Yep. And yeah, can you just, do you know off the top of your head roughly how much waste a typical person could be carrying in their colon at any given time? It's quite a bit, isn't it?
It is, yeah. On average, most people will be walking around with 5 to 7 kilos of not just waste, but also accumulated mucus sitting inside the colon. If you've got some junk in your gut that your body's wanting to pass out, the way your body works is to release more mucus in the colon so that it can move out easily. Mm-hmm. But if it's not moving out, that just builds up and becomes hard and rubbery and sticks to your insides with a lot of waste, which is causing the build-up of 5 to 7 kilos. So yeah, people don't just leave lighter from the insides. They also find that they have a flatter, softer tummy afterwards.
Yeah, it's instant.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's an excellent breakdown of it all. And is there different types of colonic systems?
Yeah, there is actually. There's 2 different types of colonics. One's called the open system and one's called the closed system. They're both fantastic at cleaning out your colon, and they both do pretty much the same job in terms of cleansing. Mm-hmm. It just comes down to your personal preference about which type you choose and which one you resonate with best. So the closed system is the older type of colonics. It was the first type, and it's the type that most people think about when they hear about colonics, or if they hear about the horror stories, they're the ones that it usually is associated with the closed system. Unnecessarily, of course, though. The closed system involves a therapist inserting a tube that's around about 5.5 inches and an inch and about that thick inside your bottom. Yeah. So they'll hold that in your bottom for the entire session, which allows them to then regulate the water flow and regulate the waste outflow. They can also massage your abdomen whilst you are having the session. A lot of people do really engage well with their therapist during the closed system. They prefer the comfort of having someone by their side, holding their hand and controlling the situation. A lot has changed though in the last few years since the closed system was invented, and there is another system called the open system, which is what we use in our clinic here. The open system is, I guess, considered a lot more gentle, a lot more intuitive, and it also is considered safer for your body as well because the tube is a lot smaller, as I showed you. A lot of people will always mention the risk of perforation. And my response is always, if you're inserting a pencil-thin tube inside your own bottom about an inch, there is an extremely low risk of perforation because you're always in control. The thing I love about the open system, as I said, it's more intuitive for your body. So rather than having the therapist in the room, filling you up and then deciding when to empty you, you can really help reinforce your gut-brain connection because you'll lay there, you'll fill up with water. The machine's largely automatic and all the water is gravity fed. So you'll take the water in and then as soon as you get the urge to go to the toilet, you're able to push yourself just like you're having a bowel movement at home. So you're always in control. Your therapist is just outside the room to assist you if you have any questions at all. But to be honest, most people prefer the peace and privacy of releasing by themselves rather than having a therapist there with you. Okay. So that's probably a breakdown of the two types of colonics. You can see what's coming out of you with both types. It really will just come down to what's available in your area and which type you feel more comfortable with.
Okay, excellent. And would you mind sharing with us what was your inspiration and motivation for becoming a colonic hydrotherapist?
Oh, of course. I'd love to be able to say that as a 5-year-old boy, this was my dream career, but I don't think that's true of anyone. But colonics just do tend to become pretty addictive to how good you feel after a session. That said, there's a few different roads that brought me to being a colon hydrotherapist. I first came across colonics probably about 15 years ago when I was struggling through my 20s with chronic ear, nose and throat infections. I'd destroyed my gut with antibiotics. I was always taking medication just to block up my sinuses. But then I came across this article about Princess Di doing colonics. And I also read how it can be beneficial for people with sinus problems. So that's what first got me into colonics. After my first one, I never would have thought that I'd go back and have more. But as I said, it really does sort things out pretty quickly for people. But what delivered me to being a colon hydrotherapist as a career, I actually went through a battle with a pretty aggressive cancer over 7 years ago now. Prior to that, I was living a standard Australian lifestyle, overindulging in too much alcohol, coffee, junk food, and thinking that I was healthy if I had like a handful of baked spinach with my pizza and chips. So I can understand how I developed cancer. I had stage 3 metastatic melanoma with an unknown primary. So I developed secondary tumours in my neck. The largest was about the size of a lemon. So I had to have surgery to have 44 lymph nodes removed. Had a short course of radiotherapy, but everything else I did was holistic. I changed my diet overnight to mostly organic, mostly raw, mostly plant-based. Was doing a lot of coffee enemas, but the main thing I was doing was a lot of colon hydrotherapy as well. Yeah. I just really can attest to the power of cleaning out your insides so that your body has less work to do to heal. And I really believe that colonics played such a big role in having me here today because I was only given a 10 or 15% chance of survival, even if I had have done chemotherapy, which I chose not to do. So after I was feeling so good after the cancer journey, I kind of wanted to help people in the same way that I was helped, not just from a cancer perspective, but from a gut health perspective and getting people as healthy as possible. So that's why I decided to quit my old marketing job and open a colonic clinic. And I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, good choice, I'd say. Yeah, no, that's an amazing story, Joel. And I'm glad that you're here now sharing that and helping other people overcome
absolutely. Yeah, if you have to go something
issues, yeah,
if you have to go through something like cancer, you might as well make the most out of it and help people live their best lives along the way.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And you've already explained quite a few of the benefits of getting a colonic. Is there anything else you want to mention just in terms of, is there any sort of specific health ailments that it can really, help with? You've obviously mentioned cancer just then and gut health and those types of things. Maybe other things like autoimmune conditions, just anything, I suppose, that triggers inflammation in the body, those types of things.
Absolutely,
just a short amount of the benefits of that.
Yeah. I can tell you for hours the benefits of colonics. So many different ways my clients have been helped. If we're looking at the most common reasons people come into the clinic, it's going to be for some sort of IBS. It's either going to be bloating, constipation, diarrhea. They've tried everything else with conventional medicine and it hasn't worked for them. And colonics are often their first foray into something that's complementary or alternative to the modern approach. So the main way that colonics can benefit you is to improve your digestion. Most people think that digestion starts in your belly, but it actually starts up in your mouth. The more thoroughly we chew, it releases digestive enzymes to both chemically and mechanically break down that food, so it moves through your system a lot easier. Which means that you're not going to have a lot of those IBS symptoms. A couple of other benefits of colonics, it can improve your concentration. There's nothing worse than that brain fog that's caused from a lot of waste and gas that's stuck in your gut. So the more clean your colon is, the more focused and the more concentration you'll be able to have. We've discussed how it can help with weight loss. It can assist with fertility in women as well. Because your colon is in very close proximity to like the uterus and whatnot, to a lot of your sex organs. So if that's compacted, then it can be impinging on other areas in your abdomen. What other benefits have we got? It can improve your energy. Most people probably don't realise that we use 80% of our energy just digesting food. So if you've got a colon that's working very efficiently to eliminate all that waste out of your body at least once every day, then you're going to be using less energy digesting food, which then gives you more energy for things that are much more important, like healing, restoring, regenerating. 70 to 80% of your immune system is inside your colon, which is why it's so important to keep a clean bowel so that you can keep in tip-top condition with your health. Bowel cancer is our second most diagnosed cancer and the second biggest killer as well.
Yeah, and happening in people much, much younger now too.
Absolutely.
The diagnosis is becoming much earlier, people in their 40s and 30s, and
And sure, in some cases there's a genetic component, but in an overwhelming majority of cases of bowel cancer, it is a lifestyle-related cancer. So if you're going to keep a clean colon, there's less chance of polyps growing through dietary choices like alcohol and red or processed meats. So if you've got less chances of polyps growing, there's less chances of those becoming cancerous as well. Probably the final one is that it's going to help improve your skin and complexion. Your skin, just like your colon, is an organ that eliminates waste. But if your colon is congested or compacted, then your skin can become built up as well. So that can lead to breakouts in your complexion, psoriasis, eczema and whatnot. So we've had so many people report that their skin complaints have improved pretty quickly after cleaning out their colon.
Yep, no, that's excellent. And so you would support as well then for people that are undergoing a cleanse or a detoxification in their body, whether they might be doing like a juice cleanse or a parasite cleanse, anything where a person's made that conscious decision to clean up their body and get rid of the toxins. And when they do that, toxins start to release at a much faster rate, through the system, and it can make you feel a bit crappy while you're going through that process. Would you also say that colonics would strongly support the body through a cleanse and detox?
Absolutely. To be honest, I wouldn't even do a cleanse or a detox without doing a colonic or an enema at home.
Yeah.
The main reason is your colon is like the garbage bin of your body. And just like at home, if you don't empty your garbage bin, it's going to build up or it's going to leak and put bin juice in the bottom of the bin. Now, it's a pretty gross analogy, but I'm going to talk about a process called auto-intoxication. And it's probably the forgotten part of a detox or a cleanse program. So we always focus on getting rid of the toxins when we're cleansing, but if you're not eliminating them from your body, the way the colon is designed is to reabsorb some of that waste in the water. Because everyone thinks the main function of the colon is to eliminate waste, but its secondary function is also to absorb water out of the waste. Now, unfortunately, the colon isn't a filter, so it's not just pulling clean, purified water out of your colon, it's pulling all that toxic waste out as well. So which is why we want to minimize that process during a cleanse. If you don't clean the colon during your cleanse, it means that you're going to be reabsorbing some of the toxins that you're trying to detox from in the first place. And that is the primary cause of the headaches or the muscle aches or the lethargy that we often experience during a detox. So that's why I wouldn't ever do a cleanse without cleaning the colon out.
Yeah, no, that's excellent information. Thank you so much, Joel. And
no worries,
I think you mentioned about fertility too. So that was probably the main trigger for getting myself to try colonics for the first time. So that was, it's probably a story for another time, but I was experiencing recurrent miscarriage, and I went and saw a naturopath and got on a path of diet and, a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, colonics was absolutely a big piece of the puzzle that I needed. And after 5 sessions, I got pregnant and had a baby. So
which is brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
And I love how you say it's a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that coming in for a session is going to be a fix-all, but it's not. You need to make wholesale changes to completely improve your life. That said, I've lost count of the number of women that have come in and haven't had a period for years and then have regained it after cleansing. Wow. I even had a woman that thought she was in early menopause and then discovered that she wasn't after a few colonics. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about letting your body self-regulate once you clean it up and give it the fuel that it needs.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't have said that better, Joel. So yeah, no, thank you so much for your time today. And
my pleasure.
I'm sure that this, that there's be people out there still that have heard of colonics and probably know what it is, but yeah, like you said, it's still that sort of maybe a bit of hesitation there that, not quite sure about the whole process. And hopefully this is, maybe put their mind at ease a little bit and gives them the confidence and the courage to go and get a colonic. So,
I'm hoping so. All I can say is, just bite the bullet. You'll probably feel all the emotions everybody else does, but like I said, within a couple of minutes, you will absolutely wonder why it ever took you so long to give a colonic a go. Agreed.
So if people have some questions for you or would like to get in contact to make an appointment, where can people find you, Joel?
Yeah, sure. Our clinic is in Maroochydore on the Sunshine Coast. So either pop in, we're on Parker Street. They can give me a call in the clinic. The number is 07 5326 3537. Otherwise, I'm on all the socials. So we've got, just search for Sunshine Colonics AU on Instagram and Facebook. And hit me up for a message, send any questions through. I promise any questions you ask won't be silly. I've heard them all before. So yeah, anything I can do to help you through the process, let me know.
Wonderful. Thanks again, Joel, and I will speak to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Cheers. Take care.
You too.